Hello. I'm a bit nervous because I'm going to talk a little bit about something that somebody up there knows an awful lot about. But they say repetition is the basis of good learning. So I'll whip through the science bits and maybe you'll catch up what the similarity is between mine and Maria's talk. But I'm going to start with a bit of pantomime because we are in the UK and it is before Christmas and you've all had a glass of wine. So if you're feeling gloomy about the future, I want you to go boo. Who's feeling gloomy about the future? It's quite a lot, isn't it? If you're feeling hopeful about the future, I want you to go, yay! Oh, that's good. We'll see if we can increase that. If you're somewhere in between and it depends how you woke up on any particular day and what Donald Trump's doing, say, yaboo! Okay, that's almost everyone. Okay, I'm padding because Maria covered a lot of my talk. So, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I was 12. And I actually wanted to be a ballerina, but I read an article about the ozone layer. It was the first newspaper I had ever opened. And I was really angry. How could grown-ups let this happen? The ozone layer was going to disappear, interfere with photosynthesis, give people lung cancer. Why wasn't this the most important issue on the planet at the time? So, in a ballet school, as you can imagine, lots of hairspray, lots of deodorant. I ran a student campaign to get rid of CFC aerosols. I spent the entire summer drawing very small, round, no-entry signs with a little aerosol behind them, and I distributed them around the school, and lo and behold, we got CFC aerosols banned from the school. That was campaign number 1. Campaign number 2 was trying to get the school to recycle paper. Now, I remember a particular person who shall remain nameless, a grown-up, who said to me, "We can't recycle the paper at the school, it's a fire hazard." Now, this is emblematic of exactly the kind of people that get in your way at climate negotiations. It doesn't matter whether you're campaigning for recycling at school or at the UNFCCC, you know who they are. They're the same people, we see them everywhere. Now, as it happens, I marched down to the local fire station and found myself a fireman who was so impressed by what I was doing, he came with me back to the school and told the superintendent of the school that he was wrong and that recycled paper didn't constitute more of a fire hazard than non-recycled paper. Now, I would like to thank all the adults in my life who encouraged me. And I'm going to ask of all of you 2 things this evening. Now, the first thing is, if anyone younger than you has an idea to make the world a better place, listen to them, encourage them, and help them. Will everyone promise to do that when they leave this room? Okay, good. So now we're going to do the science bit. 4 + 4. Now, I've rounded mine up a bit, Maria, but it's from your report. I'm really sorry. So, 4 million people die every year from indoor air pollution. 4 million people die every year from outdoor air pollution. That's 8 million people. This is one of the biggest causes of death in the world. This is the contribution of air pollution to these kinds of diseases. 29% of all disease with lung cancer. Now, there's a thing at the end here, which I like to call COPD, because saying chronic obstructive pulmonary disease is almost as difficult as saying NDC. But you can see these are very, very important statistics. Now, I'm going to read some rather depressing quotes, and then I'm going to cheer you up again. I spent the first week of July working nights in the A&E of a major central London hospital, and it was full of children. Rushing between the emergency room and the ward, I had a moment, barely to myself, from 8 p.m. when I started my shift to 10 a.m. when I handed over to the day team. It's not normal. Children are not supposed to be this sick. As far as I can tell, it's largely down to a single problem: pollution. Each night, we filled more than half the beds on the pediatrics ward with children choking with asthma. This is not some mild, ordinary wheeze. Many of those we treated were in a life-threatening condition. I sat by their beds as they writhed, struggling for air, their small bodies racked with coughs. It's a kind of torture to fear your next breath. You can see the sheer terror in children's eyes. So this is a pediatric doctor in London this July. She's called Goody Singh, and she wrote an op-ed in The Guardian. And from Delhi, this is from Arvind Kumar, a lung surgeon. A child who is born in Delhi is taking in gulps of bad air, which is equivalent to smoking 20 to 25 cigarettes on his or her first day of life. Many of the patients he sees already bear physical scars from breathing a lifetime of Delhi air. These are non-smokers, but they have black lungs. Even teenagers have black spots on their lungs. This is frightening. 9 out of 10 people in the world breathe unsafe air. And because you're all in London, I can tell you you're one of the 9, not one of the 1. Now, this could be another depressing statistic, but this is where I try and cheer you up. What's the opportunity here? 9 out of 10 people breathe unsafe air. Globally, only 55% of people believe climate change is a serious problem. Only 40% are very concerned climate change will harm them personally. That was from a global attitude survey in 2015. Of course, Latin Americans, South Asians, and Africans are much smarter. They rank much higher. But this is a global average. Air pollution can make climate change local and urgent. Not only is air pollution local and urgent, many of the conventional air pollutants are also short-lived forces in and of themselves. A short-lived force is a greenhouse gas. The non-CO2 gases are huge contributors to global warming. And 85% of air pollution is due to fossil fuels. So the overlap of the Venn diagrams of tackling air pollution and tackling climate change are huge, as long as we tackle them systemically and structurally. Speed is everything in tackling climate change, and air pollution makes ending the fossil fuel era something that everyone can get involved with and see benefits to quickly. This makes it a huge opportunity. So this is my cycle home, and this is an air quality sensor. It's a mobile air sensor, and I'll come back to where I got this in a minute. These are PM 2.5 readings. Green is the safe level according to the WHO. That's 10 micrograms per cubic meter, and 25 is enshrined in EU law in the Air Quality Directive. Orange is not safe. Yellow is probably not safe either according to the WHO, but it's just about safe based on EU regulation. So my entire cycle home on Friday night was breathing unsafe air in London. I cycle from Mayfair to the east of London, and I am literally taking seconds off my life every time I breathe the air in London. I had a mild asthma episode last year where I was caught short of breath on a number of occasions coming home. And it was in the middle of a rather nasty pollution episode this year in London. And I went to my GP and I said, I think I need an inhaler because I'm worried that I'm going to be cycling along and I'm going to have an asthma attack, or when I go traveling to China or wherever as I do for work, I'm going to need one of these. And I asked her, does this happen a lot? Have you seen a lot of people? And she said, yes. And I said, do you talk to them about air pollution? She says, well, we don't really have any guidance, and what do I say to them? London already has a pretty good network of air quality sensors, but we're working with EDF, Cambridge University, King's University, the National Physics Laboratory, and some air monitor manufacturers to add 100 fixed sensors, 250 wearable sensors on school kids, and 2 Google Street View cars are going to be driving around London mapping air pollution every 30 meters. In 1 year's time, we will have the most sophisticated, most dense air quality information in the world, in London. And the attempt that we're making here, in partnership with the Government of London, who've been incredibly supportive, and the C40 network of megacity mayors, we're going to find a way to make this regulatory grade, and we're going to make it cost effective, and we're going to make it open source, and we're going to replicate it across as many cities in the world as we can. And the objective is very simple. This little guy is called Prithvi. He's the son of one of my colleagues in Delhi. And the air sensor near his school and near his mum's work, as you can see, was registering 150 micrograms. That is considered hazardous. It's off the charts. European sensors don't even measure that high. But by giving kids air quality sensors all over London, we're going to activate their parents, we're going to activate their teachers, and we're going to activate them. We're going to enable citizen science, we're going to enable technology geeks to build new algorithms to link air quality to all manner of things, and we're going to discover a huge amount. We're going to enable litigation, we're going to enable local activism. And the more we do this around the world, the faster we can connect people, we can democratize the solutions to climate change. So I'm going to ask all of you to make one more promise. Climate change is a very, very big and complex thing, and most people can't get their heads around it. If you read the 1.5 report, and I've been working on these issues for 3 decades, it's incredibly overwhelming and disempowering and scary. But if you just commit to getting the air pollution on your street down to safe levels as defined by the WHO, and you figure out how to do that with your neighbours, and then you figure out how to do that with your local school, and then you figure out how to do that with your city, and you get your city to badger the Chancellor to get diesel scrappage for the small, medium-sized enterprises that want to electrify their vans and remove the political opposition to the problem in the first place. If people do that, we will accelerate the pace of action on climate change, and we have a real chance at avoiding warming above 1.5. So I'm going to ask all of you to commit to focusing on the air pollution on your street. And when these air quality sensors are available in London, you'll have no excuse, and you'll have all the tools you need to activate everyone you know. That's it. So join us, and let's make a revolution.